What was it like dealing with girls? Because, you know, I'm sure girls liked you when you were younger and everything else like that, but being a superstar kind of puts you in a different platform. Girls look at you different.
Right.
But you're only 13.
Right.
You know, so how did that work back then?
It was crazy because I had girls my age that loved me, but like I said, I was young, I was a teenager, so Jermaine pretty much became like the father figure.
Okay.
And, you know, watching the type of women that he would have around, it fucked my head up. It fucked me up.
What do you mean?
I didn't want, when I would leave Jermaine in the summer to go back to Ohio for a couple months, I could not talk to girls in Ohio again.
Why is that?
I never seen women built like this before, fine as hell.
Yeah.
And everything Jermaine had, I wanted. And it fucked me up. So, true story, I remember Jermaine and them went out to the Gentleman's Club, one of the hottest strip clubs, if not the best strip club of all time in Atlanta, right? And they go, and of course I couldn't get in, but all the strippers knew who I was. So I had all the girls come outside by the car. So when Jermaine and Nelly was walking out, they hearing, you know, what the fuck is going on? Bow Wow hanging out the window. He got all the strippers outside the window. So I've been, so when people look at me now and it's like, oh, why does he like strippers? Oh, why do they go to the strip club? Oh, why? It's because of my upbringing. That's what I was brought up on. We raised in Atlanta. Jermaine's like my mentor / father figure. I see them do it. When I get older and I get my bank up, I want to do it. So when it came to women, it was kind of like I really wasn't fucking with none my age. I wanted older women. I wanted the women that Jermaine had. I wanted all his women. And that fucked it up. That's like having Kobe beef, then you go back and one of your boys take you to go get a quarter pounder. That quarter pounder, cool.
Right.
But until you had Kobe beef, you don't really want that quarter pounder no more.
Okay.
So, yeah.
What age did you start messing with women though?
No bullshit, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like around 15, 16.
Okay, that's not that young.
Yeah, I was nervous. I mean,
as we all were.
Yeah, I was nervous. Motherfuckers was like, I was hearing shit like Rebel Pop. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. The motherfuckers supposed to protect us. What you mean they break?
Oh, Rebels Pop. Okay.
Yeah, I'm like, that's gonna be my first time. First time I go and my shit pop, and next thing you know, I got a baby. I will always think about that. I'm like, man, watch my first time my shit break. I keep hearing about this shit. And then I just kept it cool until I felt like I was put in a situation where, I had no choice. I gotta go in. I gotta go in.
There was I guess a story about Esther Baxter.
That's true.
Okay, I guess she denied it for some reason?
Yeah, I don't know why though. She doesn't need to. It's cool, man.
Okay, so Esther Baxter was the first.
That was the first girl I ever had sex with. Ever in my life.
Not a bad first right there.
Fuck
I got
no.
it. That's one of the baddest chicks of all time, really.
And it's not even to be like disrespectful. Like it was just a question that was asked. You know, when you hear about your first, I mean that's something not really meaningful. To some it can be, but it's a highlight. Like you should never really forget your first.
Right.
I think that it wasn't that she denied it. I just think that she didn't know, and she didn't know.
Okay.
That she was my first.
Okay.
She, you thinking Bow Wow, he's probably been fucking since 12. Right. Not the case. You know what I'm saying? Once again, it was a situation where my back was against the wall, and I knew if I didn't handle my business as a man during this time, I'm a fucking loser. And I cannot let the woman know that I was J. Cole pretty much. Like I was J. Cole. I didn't want her to know. I'm acting like I know what I'm doing. As soon as I was done, I called my bodyguard, no bullshit. What I do? What I do now? I'm done. What do I do? Yeah, I did it. You know what I mean? I was excited, but I think that she probably didn't know that she was my first. So I think maybe that's where kind of her side was, but it's the truth. She was my first.
You were 15 and she was how old?
She will always remember like a year and a half older than me, or like 2 years.
Okay, so she was a teenager too.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is before she started doing King and
yeah. This was right at PD Pablo stages.
Okay.
Freak League video and Shake Your Tail Feather.
Ah, right. She was only 16 in that video?
She was young, like 18, 19. Okay. It was like 18, 19 when we met.
So your first album comes out, 3 million sold.
Yeah.
Sure you bought your mom a house and everything else like that. Well, your mom is your manager, right?
Yeah. She does. My mother handles, she was doing the music stuff now, but because as I get older, my knowledge, I start gaining knowledge about the game, and then, me being out here really doing the work, You know, it can make you feel like you know more than, you know, the person who sits in the office. So we didn't want that to jeopardize our relationship as mother and son. You know, you see a lot of stories about, you know, these young Hollywood kids and, you know, their parents, how they fall out. It's like, I never want the business to fuck up our relationship as mother and son. So before I can do that, I'd rather get you something that's more peaceful. Mom, you should just handle the TV and film stuff.
Okay.
And ever since, it's been like cool sailing, and we handle all the rah-rah shit. You know?
Right. So you come out, make millions of dollars. Mm-hmm. Then it's time for your second album to come out.
Yeah.
Okay. And you say Pharrell worked with you on the second album?
Yeah, Pharrell worked on the second album for sure.
Okay.
For sure.
Now, is this, how early is this in Pharrell's career? I'm just trying to...
This is early. This is, Little Kim, Ray J, wait a minute early. This is before, way before Drop It Like It's Hot.
Nelly Hot in Here?
Yep, all of that.
You know, Nori, Nothing?
Yep.
Right around there, yeah, because I remember that's when I moved to New York, 2002. Okay, so Pharrell's kind of getting on fire at this point.
Oh, he's smoking.
Yeah.
Smoking.
Yeah. So that second album, how much does it sell?
Woo. First week, Jermaine knew he was going to have a crazy ass first week because of this one.
Happened,
so it's like if 3 million over time bought this one, watching y'all get the next shit. That means y'all going to rush to it. We sold like 475,000 records the first week.
500,000 the first week.
500,000.
And what did it do overall?
2 million.
Okay, so now you're going multi-platinum every time.
Every time.
Every time.
Every fucking time. Every time.
Now, by this point, what's your mentality like? You're how old?
15. I'm the hottest motherfucker moving. Matter of fact, even the fucking Like Mike soundtrack sold 500,000 records, gold. And it was a whole nother ball game at that point. Because once Like Mike came out, that opened me to a whole nother demographic. I never knew what that movie was gonna do for my career. To this day, like I see Fab wearing my jersey. Like, you know, Fab called me when he got to LA, like, yo, we need to find a basketball court. I'm like, what we doing? We hooping? Nah, I need a picture of you with this Calvin Cambridge jersey on. So, you know, it didn't hit me until now. And I just seen a recent interview where Drake was even talking about the movie and how much of an influence it played in his life, how much of an impact that movie was for him growing up. And it's just, you know, it was a whole nother level at that time. Double platinum, Like Mike's Out, one of the biggest movies of 2002. And then that's when Jermaine and them said we taking him into arenas. And they thought that he was crazy. It was like, you might want to start him in theaters. It was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. This kid is damn near half diamond already. And I remember walking in them arenas like, how the fuck are we gonna fill this shit up? And them shits was sold out every night, 20,000. Black girls. Some shit that's never really been done. Like, I look at like Drake's fans now and like, you know, the guys who might cater to women or their fan bases, it's totally different. It's totally different.
That's interesting, yeah, because when you look at, like, you know, you mentioned Drake. I'm sure if you go to a Drake show, it's probably mostly white people.
Yeah, like a mixed.
Yeah, it's definitely mixed. I mean, Drake definitely has a black fan base.
Correct.
But it's very mixed.
Correct.
You're saying at your shows, all black girls.
20,000 black kids. So now you gotta understand, we tapping into the inner city. You know what I mean? Because most of my fans was inner city. So you got moms that have maybe 2 kids. Them 2 kids got a friend or 2 friends.
Right.
So we talking about, my fan bases had to decide either we gonna get these Jordans or y'all gonna get these Bow Wow tickets. Like, for you to go to every city like that and pack 20,000 out, that's some hard shit to do because these parents, they don't got money to be spending like that.
Right.
You know what I mean? And they spent it on us. So every night we just made sure that they got their money's worth, man. And then, you know, ever since then, we ain't looked back. We just kept doing arenas. My whole career was arenas.
Okay. So second album does multi-platinum again. Now it's time for the third album.
Shit gets real at this point.
Okay. Now you and Jermaine had a split?
Fell out.
Okay.
Fell out.
What was the falling out over?
Creative differences.
Okay.
Once again, I'm growing up in the game. I feel like I've learned a lot. I've been underneath Jermaine damn near pretty much for a couple years now. Super close with him. And we just kept bumping heads. You know, no different than when your kid turns 16. You know you about to hit that that little rough patch where they start smelling themselves, they start feeling like they're grown, they start feeling like they can take charge. And at that time, I felt like I outsmarted, or I was smarter than my master. I felt like he was Obi-Wan, and I was like young Anakin. Like, stop fucking holding me back. Like, I'm ready to become like an ultimate Jedi, dude. And he's you're not ready. And it's like, but you know what? Fuck it. I'm better than you. Like, I can use everything you taught me. I'm younger. I'm a fresher brain, and I'm really out here doing this shit. So I really don't need you. Like, that's how I felt. And he was like, okay, well then do your thing. And I remember breaking his equipment in the studio.
What, you broke his equipment?
Yeah, I broke the equipment. I kicked over like the keyboard and I stormed out and I never came back. And a lot of people don't know, during that third album, that's when I became a man. And a lot of that came from Tip. You know what I mean? T.I. was Kawan Prather at the time, KP, A&R, my third album, Unleashed. And at that time, I was ready to quit. I didn't even want to rap no more because I was like, it just didn't feel right. You know what I mean? Being in studio sessions, not having Jermaine in there, seeing Lil Jon, seeing Jazzy Fate, like all these dope producers work on my project, but it was like being traded to another team after you spent 8 years there. Like it was weird. And I remember me telling Tip one time, true shit. I said, hey, you can give me a Sprite? Like, like he a runner. I'm like, he's writing, KP got this guy writing my records or, helping me do things in the studio. He's supposed to be like my new Jermaine. Okay, whatever. I'm big. I'm super more famous than T.I. at this point.
Right.
Hella more famous. I'm like, yo, hey, while I'm writing, give me a Sprite. Man, Tip looked at me, and that was a day I kind of start having to like grow up. Tip looked at me, and that motherfucker said, hey, check this out here, pimp. I'm gonna tell you something right now. Over here, partner, I don't know what y'all do over there, but JD ain't over here. Get your own goddamn sodas around this motherfucker, boy. I'm gonna teach you how to be a motherfucking man, boy. Ain't no do-boys around here. Straight up. And I was like, yo. I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to work with this motherfucking KP. That's how he talking to me, man. He must not understand. And then, we created a great bond, man. And Tip taught me a lot, man. It was times where I was so angry, I wanted to just diss the hell out of Jermaine on records, and he would be the one to, nah, we not gonna do that, or, we spent a lot of fucking time together. Like, we wrote that whole third album together. If you look on it, it's my name and Clifford Harris. My name, Clifford Harris. Like, we did the whole third album together, and that was right before he dropped King. This was before Urban Legend was out. Tip was the fucking shit, like, but it didn't commercially get big for him right until after my third album died down. Then next thing you know, I just saw his motherfucking ATL and the King album came out. I said, right. This the motherfucker that was in the studio working with me. Like, right. And it was cool. But I learned a lot from Tip. So Tip pretty much filled that void in my life around that third album. He was there every step of the way.
Now, the third album didn't have the same commercial success.
No,
as
we
the
went
first
gold.
two.
Yeah,
it wasn't gold,
yeah.
Which to most people is great, but after you're going multi-platinum, how did you accept that?
For me, it was a win.
Okay.
Because in my mind, I'm like, okay, we sold like 690 something thousand. And for me, that was a lot to do it without him. I think a loss would have been if I didn't go gold. But the fact that I did go gold and we did have a record with Baby and we did put out My Baby with Jagged, and with Jagged, that kept that So Def shit going on because we both wasn't signed to So Def at that time. Yeah. And that's pretty much how everything kind of like unfolded for that project, man.
I'm a fan of Drake. I'm a fan of the idea of Drake. So no disrespect against Drake.
What do you mean by the idea of Drake? What does that mean?
Meaning that if he has a ghostwriter, he's an idea. He's not meaning that it's a perception created that he's not really writing the lyrics, and it's just like here, let's make this in the factory and put it out.
I'm just on top of my game right now, Vlad, and I'm just getting blessed. I'm booked 4 or 5 times a week, 60, 75K a show, man. I'm winning right now, man, and I'm just steady trying to increase my hustle.